Ishmael, right? He's done a few UFC, I don't know, a few MMA fights or whatever, right? His claim to fame was about 10 years ago. He tapped out Hoist Gracie. Tapped out. No. Choked him out. He didn't even tap. Basically, like Hoist Gracie was asleep, and Hoist Gracie runs into the, runs onto the mat, throws in the towel, and that's the first time I've ever seen a coac choke. But he used to do this pass all the time. It didn't look like anything. He's just like lying on the mat. Like I was like, I don't get it, right? So there's a lot of subtleties with this. The Toby, can I borrow you? Please, can I go in here? Close guard. So let's talk a little bit about some principles. What I'm trying to do with Toby is I'm trying to get him to do this here. If he's able to go and pick up this shoulder like this here, it won't work. He's too comfortable and it'll be too difficult for me to open up his closed guard. As well, if he's able to turn with me, right, if I can't stop him from turning, it won't work as well, right? So let's just turn this way here. So once again, I have the underhook. Now, why do I have the underhook? It's because as I'm trying to pass this direction here, he cannot get my back. Now, if let's just say I do this wrong, and I have my grip backwards, and I'm going over the shoulder here, and I'm going under the shoulder here, I feel like, man, I'm actually pretty successful with this pass, but let's just say he doesn't care about his ears, and you see how he can go and potentially get my back, right? This is not a good thing. So note how the one side, I need to have the underhook. If I'm gonna pass to this side, if I'm gonna pass to my left, his right, I need to have my right underneath his armpit here. Now, I want his neck like this, and then you see how this hand is flat on the mat to create friction. As well, look at the back of my head. This is how high I am. All right, so do you see how I want to be high this way? Why is that? Is because if I'm down here, you see how I'm in his closed guard, correct? You know how he can do an omoplata on this arm if he pushes my head away? Here, you see how he can throw his foot over in front of my face. So, that is the main threat. So do you see how I put my head so far above him that there's no way that he can go and do that omoplata, all right? So the key thing is for the back of my head, just this little portion right here on the side, to go on the back of his head right here on his side. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about how to disassemble this, all right? Disassemble his closed guard. Now it all depends on how he's tangled up his ankle. So let's just keep this. You see how one ankle the ankle behind me is below, right? It's on the bottom. Let's talk about this one first. So let's just say that everything's going well, and I have my head up really high, and I'm checking his head with my head, and my hand is here to the mat, and I'm able to go and get this knee to the floor. I need to be able to go and recognize where his foot is. Now you see how my leg, the lead leg, in this case is my left leg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the back of my hip, and I'm going to knock that heel back, and now I skip it in front. As I skip it in front, what I'm going to do is with my trailing leg, I'm going to hook like this. So he cannot get me to half guard. So I'm flexing my hamstring, flexing my knee, so that my heel is close to my head, so he cannot get to half guard. And then once I'm turning, I'm switching, then I can go and pull this out entirely. So once again, note how his trailing leg, in this sense, is his left leg. Here is underneath. Yeah, this is the original position. So my lead leg, my left, what is it going to do? See how I'm just going to use my hip to knock it back. I need his knee down to the floor. I need this shoulder onto the mat as well. So you see how high and heavy that I am. I'm just lifting up so that I'm comfortable, and it's always comfortable while I talk and give this lesson. You know how my leg kicks back here, and then as I skip in front, note how my trailing leg comes with me here. So I'm track. Okay, that happens. And then from here I'm turning, and then I'm just keeping my leg. Now, what if it's the other way around? What if it's this leg that's on top, his trailing leg, his rear leg, and in this case it's his left leg, is on top? How do I do that? Well, now I'm using the front of my hip to dislodge that. So you see how I want to be nice and high, I want to keep this shoulder down, I want to keep this knee down here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this knee back, and then I'll go as well. I always put my foot out, my trailing foot out, and then I continue to pass. Right? Dave, can I borrow you so that Toby can see? Now, I got the details to open up the closed guard from a guy named Justin Chim Garcia. And my friend Stephen Testing forwarded me his YouTube clip, his YouTube tutorial on this particular guard pass on how to open this. So credit goes to Justin Garcia. So we're here, and I have the David's closed guard, I have the underhook, look how my hand is down, checking, look how high my head is. That way I'm protected from his omoplata. From here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk those things as low as I possibly can, like this. From here, I want to try and get his knee on the mat. From here, I'm going to check to see where his heel is. You see how his trailing heel is on top. So you see I'm going to use the front of my hip. So I'm going to go back, and you see how I'm going to scoop this in front. And as I do that, you see how my trailing leg goes over top of the shin so that you cannot get it in the half guard. Yeah, you're not turning, and then you're going to pass entirely. Again, I'm going to switch it up here so that this leg is down the bottom. Yeah, that's fine. So you see how I'm checking here? His head with my head up nice and high. Just lift your head a little bit. Yes, right there. So I get my head underneath, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this knee down to the floor. As I have his knee down to the floor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see where his leg is. I'm seeing that his leg is, his trailing leg is underneath. So you see I'm using the back of my hip here to knock that back. And then you see I'm scooping my foot out, lifting my head so he's far side, checking onto his knee, and then passing entirely. Let's give that a try, and then we'll do a half guard version.